You need to get rid of the background. Can you show me how to do it?
Pauline, we're talking to you. You're talking to us.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Please mute yourself. I was doing the big introduction.
Take two.
Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys in assembled company, welcome to the World Storytelling Cafe. And it is fitting that I should return and take over from the amazing Babasi, who's been rowing the boat, manning the sails, or whatever it is, for the last few weeks, bless his heart. And now, with his own program, as he celebrates the first day of KWANZAA. A big hand of applause, please, for Babasi and his celebration.
When it's KWANZAA time, this is how we get down. A quick lesson from the Godfather, James Brown. To be the funky band, this is how it's done. Think of every instrument just
It didn't move.
like a drum. That's how it's done. Every instrument is a drum. The beats got to come back to where it came from. So no matter
And the music is really quiet.
that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A funky phenomenon.
I'm working on that.
Simple. We beat on the one to set the tempo. Each drum plays its own rhythm and its own tone. But no matter what we play, we find our way home to the one. That means it's syncopated. We stay on the same because the one's anticipated. That word for one is who word for unity. Add calm, life for together. You have community. Umoja is unity in Swahili. Word moja one. What we say really is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Find your groove you begun. So come back to the 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Every trip around the sun, we come back to the 1. December 26th, before the year is done, we celebrate KWANZAA and the family comes. On the syncopation of a black nation like the drum. It's KWANZAA. December 26th, before the year is done, we celebrate KWANZAA and the family comes. On the syncopation of a black nation like the drum. It's KWANZAA. Our momentous, we have consensus. Let's be we can't afford not to be on one accord. Let's be what up, kid? You locked down. Love is now it's time for KWANZAA. December 26th, before the year is done, we celebrate KWANZAA and the family comes. On the syncopation of a black nation like the drum. It's KWANZAA. December 26th, before the year is done, we celebrate KWANZAA and the family comes. On the syncopation of a black nation like the drum. It's KWANZAA. No matter what they tried, we remain unified. It's the place to be in true harmony. Table towers fight the power, public enemy number. They fear the black flag. Make us invincible when applied as violence into what we touch an agreement as we can't lose nation under a group is. That's what George Clinton said. December 26th, before the year is done, we celebrate KWANZAA and the family comes. On the syncopation of a black nation like the drum. It's KWANZAA. December 26th, before the year is done, we celebrate KWANZAA and the family comes. On the syncopation of a black nation like the drum. It's KWANZAA. Saying it's Swahili to be with the diaspora that's wide and spectacular, but we unify you and I-T-Y as the team of talking through let's be when the bumps in your trunk, remember the funk about the if we resist, 5 fingers make a fist, we are saying loud, black and proud, James put it on the JB for let's be December 26th, before the year is done, we celebrate KWANZAA and the family comes from the syncopation of a black nation like the drum. It's KWANZAA. December 26th, before the year is done, we celebrate KWANZAA and the family comes from the syncopation of a black nation like the drum. It's KWANZAA. Farmers put your green thumb, place your foot on the the run, sweat it out on the find your groove where you begun, so come back to the because that's KWANZAA. Write this bring your story spun, bring it back to the business, making those funds, make sure you spend it on the every trip around the sun, we come back to the because that's KWANZAA. December 26th, before the year is done, we celebrate KWANZAA and the family comes. On the
All right. I hope you guys can hear that. We did a test run yesterday. It was beautiful. The techno imps, I guess, are working today. Could you hear it at all? Oh, great, great.
Yep.
I don't know what reset itself on this side, but I'm glad that it came up. So the images I was sharing in the background, I'm diverting just a little bit from my presentation. The images in the background, as we all know, we lost a wonderful storyteller recently, Trudy. We also lost in the African diaspora, we lost a giant among men, literally. He was 6 foot something. And his name was Melvin Dill. And Melvin Dill opened the doors. Well, the doors were already slightly open, but he, to use the vernacular, he bust open the doors for African dance and African culture, not only in Washington, D.C., but throughout the DMV and the country. He was internationally renowned. He had a dance company called the African Dancers and Drummers. And when he died, truly, several libraries burned to the ground because not only was he a great storyteller through his dancing and his drumming and his teaching, but he could also tell stories. And so the first figure you saw was him. His name is Melvin Dill. And then some of the other actions you saw were some of the African heritage dancers and drummers celebrating Umoja, which is the first day of Kwanzaa. Umoja means unity. Through Melvin Dill, we had the longest continuously running Kwanzaa celebration in the area. We've been celebrating since its inception in 1966 by the Honorable Ron Mulana Karengi, who is a professor at a California university. He's still active. I think he's in his 80s now, and he's still active. So I wanted to share that in honor of him and also in honor of Kwanzaa. Now, let me clear up a few things. Let me first tell you what Kwanzaa is not before I tell you what Kwanzaa is. Kwanzaa is not a black Christmas. Kwanzaa is not an alternative Christmas. Kwanzaa is not a religious observation. Basically, observations go into 3 parts. They are religious, hero worship, and cultural. Kwanzaa is a cultural celebration. And it started out as a very small gathering of friends and family back in 1966 when everybody in the United States had something they could celebrate officially except for African Americans, also known as blacks, sometimes referred as Negroes, and sometimes referred to coloreds. And if you can see the expression on my face, you know those last 2 are not very good. So he decided, hey, look, the Irish have St. Patrick's Day. I mean, everyone had a big celebration they could do. So he developed it. Kwanzaa means first, and it's based on the first harvest celebrations throughout Africa. Now, Kwanzaa officially in Swahili is spelled K-W-A-N-Z-A. But the Kwanzaa celebration is spelled K-W-A-N-Z-A-A. 7 letters. And the way that came about was there were children who wanted to be involved in the celebration and they were holding up letters and everything, but they only had 6 letters and there was a 7th child that wanted to be involved. So they quickly wrote A again and they put it up. And since then, Kwanzaa for the celebration has been with 7 A's. 7 letters, because Kwanzaa is an inclusive celebration. You don't have to be of the African diaspora to celebrate it. It doesn't matter whether you're Christian, Muslim, whether you're Jewish, whether you're deist, whether you're agnostic, atheist, it doesn't matter. Kwanzaa is a coming together. It's a 7-day celebration, and it's a coming together of spirit and affirmation to do things not just during Kwanzaa season, which is December 26th to January 1st, but it's to set you up, to gather you, to use those energies, those principles throughout the year. Okay. So let me see if I can do this again. I'm going to try to do another screen share so that I can show you what I'm talking about. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Okay, so fingers still crossed. Bear with me just a moment. I did a complete run through of this yesterday and everything went smooth, but that was yesterday. All right. So the colors for Kwanzaa are red, black, and green. Red represents the struggles and the blood of the Africans throughout the world. Uh, the green represents our future, our wealth, and also represents children in a manner of speaking. And of course, the color black represents the people. Now, although we use the color black to represent people, we're not talking about color. We're talking about culture. And it's almost a universal that when people think of Africans, they think of the color black, and that's okay. But it's more than about color; it's about culture. And let me see. Hopefully, this is it. And it is not. So much for running things through rehearsals. Okay, so while I'm certain, I'm going to share with you. Here we go. Now, how do I do that? Okay, bear with me, good folk. In practice, this is working a lot smoother. Where's my share button? I see everything but the share button. Ah, there it is. It's not coming up, is it?
Not yet, Baba.
Ah, can you see? Can you see the symbol?
Yeah, it's coming.
Okay. So you guys are going to have to work with me. I'm going to have to find workarounds because everything we practiced and got together doesn't seem to be working today. But that's okay. So there are 7 principles. And the principles are umoja, which is unity, kujichagulia, which is self-determination. You decide your future. You know, the only person that can guarantee your success is the only person that can guarantee your failure, and that's you. So it doesn't matter what other people think about your dreams and aspirations. They don't live your life. They don't breathe your breath. They don't feel the hunger in your belly. They don't feel the release of success. You have to decide what you're going to do. You have to be the driving force behind what you do. All right. Then the next one is, and by the way, we have 7 candles, and they are on top of a candle holder, and the candle holder is called a kanara. In the middle is a black candle representing the people, and every day we start off by lighting the black candle, and then we alternate between red and black. All right. And so the first day we light umoja, and that's today. Unity, coming together to achieve a common cause, coming together to do things. And sometimes it's something as simple as making sure that someone has coverage so that they can take a break from their children. Sometimes it means coming together and getting someone's house in order. Sometimes it means giving someone anonymously a card so they can put gas in their car. But it's unity, coming together and doing things. Then the next day is Kujichagulia, and on that second day, we light the black candle. Then we light Kujichagulia. And if you can bear with me, I want to try to bring up another graphic. Hey, John, I'm feeling awful bold today, aren't I? All right, so bear with me while I find the other graphic. We had all this nice and laid out. Hey, oh, there it is. Can you see that? Can you see the graphics as primary symbols of Kwanzaa?
Not yet, Baba.
You can't see it? Okay. I know what to do. Hold on. You're going to see it in a moment. All right. We're going to bring that right back. This reminds me of early in my career when we would have tech rehearsals and everything would run fine. And then on opening night, everything would run everything but fine. but that's part of the challenge. Okay, so let me see. You can't see it yet. And bring it up. That's what I want to share. Oh. Can you see it now?
It's getting there. Yeah.
All right.
Symbols. The crops.
Yeah. Thank you, good folk. So the first, okay, so these are some of the symbols of Kwanzaa. And we, I said it was a first harvest. So there's, fruits and vegetables representing the first harvest, which is symbolic of our work. And I think of the first harvest as being breakfast, because early in the morning, a lot of us have breakfast and it holds us until we can get to our next substantial meal later on during the day. And I'm laughing because I either have to laugh or cry right now, and I don't want to cry. Ooh, what is that? All right, so there was supposed to be a slideshow. Are you seeing a map? Or are you still seeing the first one?
Just the first one, Baba.
Just crops.
All right, so I think I know what I have to do, and that's kind of sad. I have to cancel the first one. I appreciate your patience, good folk. Stop share. And let's go back and find that again. I'll do this. Show it to you again. So now you're seeing the first one again, yes?
Not seeing anything at the moment, except ourselves. And we know what we don't.
Okay, I'm going to try this one more again. You know what? I'm going to do this a little bit different. Since I'm having some trouble with the animated parts, I'm going to close that. And let me try this. See, my challenge is that I bring up a picture and then I can't find the share part on the Can you see that? Are you seeing a picture?
Yes, Baba.
Yeah,
No?
really nice. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. We've got a nice little family gathering here.
Okay.
Lighting a candle.
Did you see that? All right. So now you should be
Yeah,
okay. There's the candle holder again. Okay, so the candle holder is called the Kanara. The candles represent the Nguzo Saba, which are the 7 principles. The corn represents the children, which is our future. The mat represents the foundation. Everything has to have a good foundation. Anyone who lives in a house knows if your foundation is not solid, the house tends to creak or crack. Even with stairs, if you don't have a good foundation for your stairs, they make noises, which is why older homes are known to make noises. And some people say they're haunted, but okay. So the symbol next, this symbol here represents the family, fertility, etc., etc. And in the back is the unity cup. And traditionally, people would drink from the unity cup. These days, it's symbolic because there's a lot of stuff going around. And if you notice, everything is on the green, the red, and the black. Black representing the people and the culture, red representing our struggles and blood, and the green representing our future and our growth. That's what I was trying to show you earlier. I don't know. Do I need to make those bigger? There you are. The Makika, which is the mat. The Kanar, which is the candle holder. And it's also a symbol of our roots, our people, which is, well, it says our parent people, which is the continental Africans. I'm getting the hang of this. And by the way, the song you heard in the beginning, which you're probably going to hear again, also known as the Watermelon Man and the hip hop artist. In Washington, D.C., we have a big celebration which falls around my birthday, August 4th. And it's Watermelon D.C. And we gather actually at an outdoor event, all the free watermelon you can eat. And we have musicians and puppeteers and children performers and singers and poets and storytellers, etc., etc. And it's a very good thing. It's a very wholesome thing. And it's become the Watermelon DC / Baba Steve's birthday celebration. And the candles are called the Mishuma Saba. That's the 7 candles, which represent the 7 principles. And we're going to get to that in just a moment. And I also have a story I'm going to tell today. And I think we're back at the first one. All right. So I kind of got through that. It's supposed to be making noise. Be quiet. No, be quiet. I'm talking to my phone. It's supposed to be on silence and it's making noise anyhow. All right, so I'm going to stop share for a moment. And if you have any questions while I'm trying to mount the next one, please ask. I'll either know the answers or I won't know. That didn't make sense.
Can I ask, Baba C?
Hey, how
Hi.
are you?
Fine,
Oh. So today, while I have everybody's attention, before you ask your question, today is Umoja, which is the greeting. So you can unmute if you like, but I would like everyone to say Habari Gani. So everyone say Habari Gani.
Habari Ghani.
Habari
Gani.
All right. And it doesn't matter whether we are, whether it comes across, with everybody at the same time. Habari Gani means what's the good news? So when someone asks you Habari Gani and today is Umoja, the first day of Kwanzaa, your reply is Umoja. So when I say Habari Gani, everybody unmute and say Umoja. Habari Gani.
Umoja.
Umoja.
Vizuri Sana, well done. And so today people were doing that. Some people say Habari Gani, and people say the good news today is Umoja, unity. For united we stand. So that's one thing. So I wanted to share that real quick. And so Despina, you had a question? Despina, you had a
I
question?
did, yeah, thanks for remembering. Yeah, I did. So I get what KWANZAA is, but does the name actually mean something? The KWANZAA
Yes.
itself?
Yes, it does. Kwanzaa means first harvest. And the first harvest in many parts of Africa, they celebrate the first harvest. The first harvest of the year holds you over, or the season holds you over while you're doing other things, preparing the substantial harvest, et cetera, et cetera. So it means first harvest. And we took it and we adopted it. Dr. Kurenge adopted it to represent the first harvest or the coming together of African Americans. First, it started out in the United States, but now it's celebrated throughout the globe, and it's celebrated by people of African descent, Africans in the continental Africa. It's also celebrated by non-Africans, and that's fine because it's a very inclusive celebration. And you'll love this. One of the most ironic things about this celebration growing and growing and becoming worldwide is now when you go out to buy Kwanzaa kits, yes, there are Kwanzaa kits. A lot of times when you read it, it says made in China or made in Honduras. It's an African celebration, but a lot of times when things come of age, especially in the United States, they're made everywhere else but the United States. But there are a lot of craftsmen and small shops and black-owned shops that make their own Kwanzaa kits. I just found it very interesting. I went to replace my Kwanzaa kit. I have a very unique Kwanzaa kit. I was going to show it to you today, but it looks like it's been through better times. It has. But I've had this Kwanzaa kit for about 20 years, a little bit longer than that. So it's showing its wear and tear. I don't clean it off after lighting it during the Kwanzaa season. So you can see bits of melted candle wax, et cetera, and right now, because of the heat where I am, some of the candles have tilted this way. Some of them have tilted that way. my Kwanzaa candles look like they're shouting, "Help me!" Were there any other questions while I'm looking for the next graphic to share? Don't be shy. And people are being shy. All right, so let me see if I can pull this one up. Oh, by the way, let me see if I can share this with you. All right, so this is what I want to share. The United States was kind of slow in getting behind recognizing Kwanzaa. Every season they would talk about Hanukkah, they would talk about Christmas, and they would talk about some of the other holidays by the Sikhs and the Hindi, et cetera, but they didn't talk about Kwanzaa. And then in 1996? I think, no, 1997. The U.S. Postal Office came out with the first Kwanzaa stamp. And there have been several of them since then. So here we go again. We're going to try to share that with you. Where'd it go? There it is. Can you see that?
Yes, Baba.
All right. Woof. Thank you, good folk. Do I need to make it bigger? So, yep. It's okay. All right. So, first of all, let me explain something. I have this nice combination of slides and music, et cetera, because I do not lecture. I don't like giving lectures. Every time I think about a lecture, I think about wanting a pillow and covering my face with a face mask and taking a nap. Early in my career as a storyteller, there were several lady organizations. They were founded, started, and they were by ladies, and they would hire me to tell stories, but they had to bill me as a lecturer because their account department, even though they knew about me and they felt that I was the best thing since sliced bread, and there's a story in that, they would not pay for a storyteller, so I had to be billed as a lecturer. All right, so we are now into the 55th anniversary of Kwanzaa. I think that's about right. This is 2021, right? 7 principles. We chose Swahili as the unifying language. People often ask me why. I tell them, there are over 2,000 languages spoken throughout the African continent, and no matter what language you choose, people would ask you, why did you choose that one? I already explained the red, the black, and the green. The last time that I'm aware of that the U.S. Postal Office offered a Kwanzaa stamp was 2016. And as I pointed out earlier, even though it's rooted in African culture, it's very inclusive. And I've been to Kwanzaa celebrations where I'm telling you, we had people from many walks of life, many different religions, and it was wonderful. And one of the things I like about Kwanzaa is that people come together and they set aside their political and religious differences and celebrate the principle of that day. Of course, when you're having a celebration, you want some star power. So people who have celebrated Kwanzaa over the years include Oprah Winfrey, Maya Angelou, Chuck D. Chuck D was a very, very, I don't know if you're aware of him, he's a musician. No, Chuck D was I have my Chucks confused. Chuck D was a dancer who also had his own company, and he was internationally known as well. Angela Jolie celebrated it, you know, and the names go on. All right. Ooh, I want some of what you're drinking, Despina. Oh, am I too loud? Is that what it says? I think it's max of volume. Unmute yourself, John.
No, that was referring to the music earlier.
Oh, but then
he couldn't get it any louder.
But toward the end, it got louder.
Well, or I turned up my machine, one of the two. But
Okay.
anyway, you're fine now. You're perfect.
Oh, I know I'm fine. My mama told me that decades ago.
Yeah, but she probably didn't tell you were perfect.
No, she was perfect. I am the child of perfection. Are you sharing the sound on Zoom? I was trying to, and I had the original sound on in case so it could be picked up from my screen, my computer. But something happened when I went to share. I lost the ability to turn the music up on my computer. I don't know what that was about, and it still won't happen. Okay, well, we won't worry about that right now. Ooh, everyone's having a drink. I think after this presentation, I'm going to have a drink. Now, my cup is empty. I had some coffee. And even
Let
John
me
has a
raise a
drink.
glass to Kwanzaa.
Everybody say Umoja!
Umoja.
Umoja.
All right.
A little angel's breath here, Donald.
Coffee only.
I had I was drinking, I don't want to call it virgin coffee. I was drinking an unfortified cup of coffee. It had no rum in it. And the way I'm feeling now, maybe I need some rum.
We need Baden.
Yeah, you know, Baden said he was going to set his alarm. He told me he was going to set his alarm, and he said he was going to try to get up. He said, but he made no promises. And it's a good thing because if he had made a promise and didn't show, you know I would have to get on him the next time he and I came together.
Bring him up right now.
Is he coming in? Oh, you're ringing him up right now.
I'm going to ring him up and wake him up.
Do that. Okay, so I explained to you that every day the principle changes. Kujichagulia for self-determination, Ujima, which is you, because I'm not confident with my screen sharing right now, but Ujima, which is UJIMA, which means collective work and responsibility. I call it teamwork because that's what it is. You have to come together as a team and do things together to get things done. And when I was actively mentoring my youngsters, we would get together, and especially on Ujima, we would do some type of collective project. And they surprised me. One year they turned around and said, okay, Baba, see, every weekend we take over your apartment, we mess it up, and then we go home. This weekend we're going to straighten it up. And they did everything. I said, well, he said, no, the only thing you have to do is sit down. And I sat, and these boys who their parents said wouldn't even clean up their own bedrooms, they cleaned up my apartment. I had a huge 2-bedroom apartment that you would not believe. My apartment was as big as a small house. And they swept. In fact, they made me go in my bedroom while they were sweeping because they knew I was allergic to dust. They swept, they vacuumed, they prepared the table for our meal. They did the dishes. I'm like, whoa! You know, so that was great. Then we have Ujima. Some people say Ujama, which is actually, it's supporting Black-owned businesses, supporting businesses that reflect, respect, and support our community. Unfortunately, in most Black communities, the dollar doesn't even stay in the community for a day. In fact, dollars spent in the Black community in non-Black establishments are gone within the hour out of the community. You know, and that's a shame, but we're working on that, and we're working on getting more and more people involved. There are a lot of organizations that say they support the African American community, but they don't. They support it in word and commercials only, but that's beginning to change. So pardon me if I go out of order. I think the next one is Nia, which is purpose. Understanding what your purpose is. Like we know John Rowe's purpose is to be elsewhere performing while I take over. But no, I'm only kidding, John. Purpose. Purpose is knowing your purpose, understanding why you're here. You know, there's no use in trying to be somebody else. They're already taken. Be yourself. Define your purpose. It's just like Kujichagulia, self-determination. Define your purpose. You decide why you're here. You decide what you're going to do. You decide what you're about. Other people's opinions of you are absolutely none of your business. Think about that. Then we have, I skipped over one, KWANZAA, which is creativity. And I don't need to explain creativity because everybody in this gathering is a creative person. Storytellers, teachers. You know, I think teachers are probably the most underappreciated storytellers in the world. Because if you are effectively communicating and inspiring your students, you are telling stories. Let me define a story. A story is a telling of events. They might have happened. They might not have happened. Is Baden? Baden is waiting to get in. I'm gonna admit Baden. And Baden should be joining us. Hey, everybody do like this. It must be early. Baden is joining us. I'm not going to hear the end of that. So, KWANZAA's creativity, and I think teachers are sometimes the most creative storytellers as well. I can't speak for the rest of the world, but I know in the United States, teachers spend. Please mute yourself. I haven't given you permission to speak yet, Baden, but we're glad you joined us. The rest of us have had coffee, our tea, and our breakfast. Anyhow, but we're glad you're here. In the United States, teachers spend anywhere from a third, some even a half of their salary in getting the things they need for their classrooms. And in some places, that includes books. Okay. Then we have, I've left out one. I'll remember it in a moment. We have Imani, which is the last one, which is faith. There's an old saying in Christian circles, for we walk not by sight, but by faith. And so Imani is reaffirming whatever your spiritual belief system is or isn't, but reaffirming that. On the last day of Kwanzaa, we come together and it's like a big potluck meal, or people cater, or people cook all day long, or folk come over one person's house and they help them cook. If the house needs to be put in order, they help them put it in order. They set up the Kwanzaa symbols. We gather together and we eat till we get the itis. And for those of you who don't know what the itis is when you've eaten so much, the only thing you can do is sit down, pat your belly, and struggle not to fall asleep. That is called the itis. Today I had the itis. Some friends of mine in my very small bubble invited me to a meal, and once again they served me so much food I could not clear my plate. And adult beverages were served. And this morning I'm sitting up in the bed going, I've already laid out my outfit. I already know how to run the share. All that's related, so I don't. And then I said, wait a minute, hold up. You move slow. You should have been up an hour ago. But anyhow, I'm moving slow, but I'm moving. So on that last day, we have Karamu or Karamu, some people say, and it's a big celebration and a party. And for some people, especially the children, it's part of the best thing because we exchange zawadi. Zawadi means gifts. The gifts given in Kwanzaa are not the most expensive and latest dolls or electronic equipment, et cetera, et cetera. They're usually things that serve a purpose or inspire kids. I mean, they can be books. And with the books coming out now, especially some of the comic books coming out now, that's in fact, I like books, hint, hint. And they'll get books or something they've worked for or parents feel they've earned, but you give one gift, just one gift. So each person gets one gift, and it's usually a well thought out gift that people, if it means rest your belly ready for the next feed. Excuse me. Yes, Pauline. Yes. Pauline put down in the chat. It means rest your belly, ready for the next feed. Yes, because when I get off of this, I'm going down to stuff my belly again. Oh, I'm going to try to persuade her to read the feedback. Would everybody say happy birthday, Lisa Gatson? Unmute. Everybody say happy birthday, Lisa Gatson.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Lisa
birthday,
Gatson.
Lisa
Lisa
Gatson.
Gatson.
All right. So Lisa is my eldest sister. I'm the eldest. Although my sisters and brothers try to act like they're my parent, I tell them I used to change your diapers. You didn't change mine. Except for I have a smart aleck baby brother who's too old to be called baby. He says that day's coming. But anyhow, today is her birthday. She's born the day after Christmas. My mother said she was due on Christmas Day, but she did not want to spoil my Christmas. Well, she did. She had my sister. I mean, my sister was born the day after Christmas. It was the last Christmas I truly enjoyed. She took over Christmas, but that's okay. That's okay. Anyhow, so they have the Zwadi, the gifts. They have the celebration. They have the music, and everybody's happy, and a good time is had. And it's also used as the day to reaffirm our commitment to practicing the 7 symbols of KWANZAA, 365 days out of the year. I have one more song, and then I'm gonna tell a story. I have to remember which song it is. I think this is it. Can you hear it? So let me pause. You heard him call himself the Watermelon Man because that's what he's known about in his area. In the background, you're going to hear some youngins. They are Ola. I'm sorry, I keep changing their names. They are Olu and Dela. And they're twins, and they're his sons, and they play drums. I mean, these guys are phenomenal. Anyhow, Bomani has graciously given me permission to share his music. I said, may I share your music? And I had barely gotten down, may I share your music for a Kwanzaa celebration? And he went, yes, yes, yes. So, that's who you're hearing in the background.
NotARapper.com. Here with Dayline Olu. About to break it down. Coochie Chabulia, Coochie Chabulia. Self-determination is that Coochie Chabulia. Coochie Chabulia, Coochie Chabulia. Exceeding expectations with that Coochie Chabulia. Coochie Chabulia, Coochie Chabulia. Self-determination is that Coochie Chabulia. Coochie Chabulia, Coochie Chabulia. We're gonna build a nation with that Coochie Chabulia. I got self-determination. I got the discipline and concentration. For my 40 acres and repatriation, I work on my education, bringing ideas into creation. I have no fear. I keep motivation in my ear. I stay mobbing with my RPG peers, so all you're gonna hear is Coochie Chabulia, Coochie Chabulia. Self-determination is that Coochie Chabulia. Coochie Chabulia, Coochie Chabulia. Exceeding expectations with that Coochie Chabulia. Coochie Chabulia, Coochie Chabulia. Self-determination is that Coochie Chabulia. Coochie Chabulia, Coochie Chabulia. We're gonna build a nation with that Coochie Chabulia. I need goals, so I set them. I set benchmarks and go get them. I make moves and I don't regret them. Obstacles stop me if I let them, but I'm just gonna keep on stepping. I feel freedom coming here from enslavement to PIC in 400 years.
That was me. I stopped it deliberately. I'm going to come back to that. But I want to share my Kwanzaa story with you. I hope that you're enjoying this despite my techno challenges. And I hope I'm not coming across as a lecturer because I don't like to lecture, except to bad end prints. Other than that, I don't lecture. And you can't speak because I know who woke you up. Okay? Because I threatened to talk about you. He said, no, I'm going to call and wake him up now. This is why I don't have your number. All right. That's okay. So remember the 7 principles. And let me. All right. So this story is about the children of Anansi. And this story takes place a long time ago. You get the picture. It was so long ago, Keith Butter's beard was black, or whatever color it originally was. John Rowe's beard was red, or the hair on his head was red. I read somewhere something about you was red. And Baba C not only had black hair, black beard. In fact, Baba C didn't even have a beard, but he had a lot of hair on top of his head. He put the af in afro. This story is before Baden Prince. Well, anyhow, never mind about Baden Prince. I love him like a brother. I don't like my brothers. No, I'm only kidding. So, Anansi had 8 legs. How many legs? 8 legs. 8 legs. Like later on, I will ate dinner twice. He had 8 legs. And because he had 8 legs, he could go walking. And he could walk, yes, he could walk any way he wanted. He could strut. He could mosey. I've never learned to mosey. I guess I got to go to Texas to find out how to do that. He could walk anywhere, and he loved to walk, which is one of the few activities Anansi actually did, because he was a very lazy fellow. Isn't that right, Baden? Don't respond. Anyhow, so he went walking, and he was walking so long that his children got worried. Now, let me tell you about the children of Anansi. There was Organizer, who was always bossing people around and telling them what to do because he was the eldest of the children. Uh-oh. He was the eldest of the children. And you can hear him, no, you don't do it that way. You don't do it. What is your problem? That is the wrong way to do it. I showed you how to do it. This is the way you do it. You do it this way. Then there was Stone Thrower, who was his name says it all. Stone Thrower was always throwing stones, but he never missed his mark. When Stone Thrower threw a stone, if he threw it at you, it was going to get you, bop, right between the eyes. There was Dancer, and Dancer loved to dance. Oh, Dancer danced to dance to Dancer dance, and when Dancer danced to dance, and only Dancer could dance, when Dancer danced to dance to Dancer dance, magical things would happen. Then there was River Drinker. That's right, Keith Butters. That's what we did, right? So, River Drinker, they called him River Drinker because he could drink a river. He could drink it dry. There was Road Builder, and Road Builder loved to go exploring, but often wherever Road Builder wanted to go, there was no path, so Road Builder would build Road Builder's path on Road Builder's own. Thum, 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 thum. And then there was See Far Away. Now, See Far Away used to bump into her own shadow. But See Far Away, yep, that's right, could see far away. Every day, See Far Away would say, look, and See Far Away's brothers and sisters would go, where? And See Far Away would say, there. And they'd say, I don't see anything. And See Far Away would say, that's because it's far away. Oh. And then the youngest name was Hunter. And whenever Hunter got near his sisters and brothers, they got nervous because Hunter was always hungry. Either Hunter was eating, just finished eating, or was about to eat again. Hunter was so hungry that one day Hunter got really, really hungry and consumed the entire Sahara forest. I know you're saying it's a desert. It is now. So, Anansi was gone so long his children got worried. Organizer said, where is Fada? He'd been gone a long time, even for him. Where is Fada? And all the children said, I don't know. So Organizer says, I have an idea. And whenever I say I have an idea, unmute and go, figures. Let's test that. I have an idea.
Figures.
All right. And again, it doesn't matter whether we come all in at once because you know how kids are when we respond to people. Okay. So he said, see far away, come here. And see, my accent changed, didn't it, Baden? It's going to change a lot. But he said, see far away, come here. And see far away came in. He said, see far away, I need you to see far away and find our father. So see far away saw far away north, see far away saw far away south, see far away saw far away east, see far away saw far away west. And I changed it to northeast, south, and west because I didn't know that the expression left and right were relatively new expressions in the human experience. Go figure. Just like up and down. But anyhow, so see far away kept seeing far away, and see far away looked and looked and looked. He said, there is father. And the kids went, where? She said, there. And they said, we don't see anything. She said, that's because he's far away. Oh. Then see far away said, oh no, an eagle has our father. The eagle's going to eat our father up. Now you have to remember, in Africa, a spider can be bigger than Baba C's hand. A spider can be bigger than Baden Prince's ego. That's big. Yes, I'm picking on you, Baden. That's big. So the children went, oh no, what are we going to do? Let's see if you were listening. An organizer said, I have an idea.
Figures.
And he said, dancer. And Dancer stepped forward. He said, dancer, 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 only dancer can dance. And when you dance the dance that you dance, take us to Father. So dancer, 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 only dancer can dance. When dancer, 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 and only dancer can dance, magical things would happen. And all the children of Anansi began to float up in the air, and they began to move in the direction of Father. Well, as fast as they were going, the eagle was just a little bit faster, and the children were afraid that any moment that eagle was going to eat their father at any moment. And they said, "What are we going to do?" And they said, "I don't know." And then organizer said, "I have an idea."
Figures.
He said, "Stone thrower," and stone thrower stepped forward. He said, "Stone thrower, I know you got the stone on you. Take that stone and knock that eagle out of the sky." And so stone thrower took his stone. He took the stone and he aimed, he went, whoosh. Now we know that stones don't actually say whoosh, but I wanted the sound effect. It went whoosh and it went pop. Knocked that eagle out of the sky. And the eagle began to fall. And as the eagle began to fall, it released his hold on Anansi. And Anansi began to fall and fell into a river. Bloosh, splash, bloosh. The children said, "Oh no, Father has fallen into the river. What are we going to do?" "I don't know." Organizer says, "I have an idea."
Figures.
He said, "Dancer, stop dancing." So dancer stopped dancing. The dancer, only dancer could dance. When dancer stopped dancing, the dancer, only dancer could dance. The children of Anansi began to float toward the ground. But when they got to the ground, they knew the direction their father had fallen in, but there was no path. "How are we going to get to Baba? There's no path." You know what's coming up. "I have an idea."
Figures.
He said, "Road builder," and road builder stepped forward. "Road builder, build us a road and take us to Baba." So road builder began to build a road. And you guys can do this and think, you can even say it out loud. Thump, 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 Baden. Thank you. Boom, thump. Let me see your hands move, Baden. Thump, 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 thump. Because you got to be starting thumping. Got to be starting thumping. Okay, stop the thumping. And they got to the edge of the river, and there was Anansi floating on top of the river because he's a spider, and he was cool like that. He was cool like that. He was cool like that. He was cool. Borrowed from the Diggable Planet. He was cool like that. And the children were so relieved because their father was safe and floating on top of the river. And just then a great big fishy come up and him swallow Anansi whole. Everybody go, "Oh no!"
Oh
no!
And the children said, "What are we going to do? What are we going to do?" "I don't know." And of course, organizer said, "I have an idea."
Figures.
Figures.
He said, "River drinker, come here." And River Drinker stepped forward. He said, "River Drinker, drink that river dry." And so River Drinker leaned into the river and he began to drink. He sounded like Baden on a Friday evening at the pub. and he drank the river dry. On the bottom of the riverbed was a great big fishy flopping up and down with Anansi inside. What are we going to do? Daddy's trapped inside the fish. I don't know what we're going to do. And of course, organizer said, I have an idea.
Figures.
Figures.
He said, Hunter, and Hunter stepped forward. Now, when Hunter stepped forward, the other children of Anansi stepped back. Because Hunter, even though he was the youngest, made them nervous. It was rumored they used to have cows and goats on their farm. Some even say they had a brother that went missing. I'm just saying what they were saying. I'm not saying it. So they stepped back. Organizer looked at his youngest sibling and said, go down in that river, take out your machete, and free our father now. And Hunter gave him that look like, you know, I haven't eaten today. And the oldest brother suddenly remembered his manners and said, please. So Hunter jumped down into the riverbed. He grabbed the fish, he took out his machete, swoop, and out popped Anansi. It's about time you got here. What took you so long? But then he realized his children must have gone through a lot of things in order to save his life. He said, my children, 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 my children. Was that 7 times, Baden? Fake it and say yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, so he says, we're going to go home. We're going to take this fishy with us. We're going to go home and we're going to have ourselves karimu or karamu. We're going to have a party to celebrate that I got the bestest, brightest, most handsomest, most wonderful, most prettiest children in the whole wide world. And we're going to go home now. Danza, dance us home. So dancer, dancer, dance, and only dancer could dance. When dancer, dancer, dance, and only dancer could dance, the children and the father, the children of Anansi and their father floated back to their compound, floated back to their home. And sure enough, when they got there, Anansi fixed up that fish. It was a great big fish. And they got out punch and they got out palm. They got an adult beverage for Anansi, and they had coconut water and juice for his children. And they had a great time. There was dancing in the streets. There was party. Oh man, they had a good time. In fact, they got the itis. Oh man, they said, "Oh man, I got the Pauline-itis. I got the Pauline-itis. I can't wait to get up and eat again. Oh man, oh man, oh man." Anansi said, "You know, because you're such wonderful children, I'm going to do something very special. I'm going to go out and make something just for you." And so Anansi went out into the night, because it was nighttime by then, and he began to gather little strands of night that glowed in the dark. And he gathered them and he fashioned it into a ball, into a sphere. And the sphere glowed in the night. And he went back in. He said, I have made the sphere that glows in the night. I only have the one sphere, so I can't give it to each of my children. So I will give it to the child that did the most to save, to save my life. I go out front now while you decide amongst yourself. So he went outside, and the children of Anansi looked at each other, and the organizer says, now, when I say I deserve, everybody say, do not. Okay? Organizer said, I deserve the ball of light.
Do
Do
not.
not.
Yes, I do, because I told you what to do. I'm the one that saved Father, so I deserve the ball of light.
Do not.
You too.
Do not.
Do not.
You too.
Do not.
And then C Far Away stepped up and said, no, I don't see how you can say that. I saw Father. I pointed the way. I led us to Father. I deserve the light. I deserve it. I do too.
Do not.
Do too.
Not.
Do not.
Do not.
Do too.
Do
Do
not.
not.
Then Dancer stepped up and said, what is your problem? Girl, if I hadn't danced the dance that I danced when I only dancer can dance the dance that I dance, we'd still be sitting on this ground wondering where Father is. I danced that dance. I took us toward Father. I deserve the light.
Do
Do
not.
not.
You too.
Do not.
Do not.
Do to.
Do not.
Not.
Stone thrower stepped up and he had a stone in his hand. He said, you know, early today, I had a stone that looked a lot like this one. And I used that stone and I knocked an eagle out the sky. And he was far away. He wasn't close like any of you. I deserve the light.
Do not.
Do not.
I deserve the light.
Do
No, do
not.
not.
I deserve the light.
Do not.
not.
Then Road Builder stepped up and said, you know what, to be so smart, y'all going nowhere fast. Look at me. I built that path. I took it. No, look at me. I took it. Look at me. I took us to where Father was. I deserve the light.
Do not.
Do too.
Do not.
Do too.
Do not.
River Drinker stepped up and said, y'all silly. I drank so much river today, I can hear the ocean. I drank that river dry so we could see where Father was. I deserve the light.
Do not.
Do not.
Do too.
Do not.
Do too.
Do not.
Do not.
And then Hunter stepped up. And when Hunter stepped up, everybody, not everybody, everybody else stepped back because they were remembering the Sahara forest. And Hunter said, I don't have the itis. In fact, I got Pauline-itis, which means I was hungry for another meal. And although I ate over half that big old fishy that Daddy was trapped inside, I could use something else to eat now. And I think I'm looking at 6 snacks. The others looked at Hunter. They were feeling nervous. Even organizers didn't have too much to say. And then Hunter said, my appetite, I deserve the light. No
Do
discussion.
not.
I do too. I deserve the light.
Do not.
Do not.
Do not.
Do too.
Do
Do
not.
not.
And they all began to argue. Every time I say do too, you say do not. Do too.
Do not.
Do too.
Do
Do
not.
not.
Do not.
Do
Do not. Do not. Do not.
And then organizers said, whoa. I have an idea.
Figures.
Beggars.
We all work together to save Daddy. We all work together to save Baba. We all work together to save Bao. We all work together to save Padre. We all work together to save Mon Père. We all work together. It was because of our collective work. It was because of our teamwork, our determination, knowing our purpose to save Father. It was because of our faith that we would find and save him. It's because we came together in unity, umoja. It's because of our kujichagalia, our self-determination to save our Father, and our creativity, our kuumba. We all did this together. We all deserve the ball of light. And they say, yeah, he's right. For once he said something we can all agree with. So Nancy came back with the ball of light. He says, which of my children deserve the ball of light? And they shared with him what I just shared with you. He said, you all deserve the ball of light? What can I do? And he went to each of his children and he plucked a little bit of knowledge. He plucked a little bit of wisdom. 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 And to the youngest one, he plucked and plucked and plucked and plucked and plucked and plucked and plucked wisdom. Then he told his children, come outside with me. And he held the ball of light. And I want everyone to unmute and blow. Everybody go. Okay, that was a bad idea. Whoa. And the ball of light grew. It grew and it grew. And it got so big, Anansi couldn't hold it. And so he flung it up into the night sky. And it went up in the night sky and he went so far up, it got stuck. And to this day, on certain nights, if you look out, especially if you're in the countryside, if you look out, you can see this great, big, beautiful, silvery ball of light shining in the sky to remind everyone of the children of Anansi and how they use Ingazu Saba, how they use the 7 principles of Kwanzaa to save their father. Asante.
Fantastic twist.
So that's my favorite Kwanzaa story. I get a chance to tell it to one of the largest church congregations in Washington D.C. on Tuesday night, because that's Kuchicha. No, that's Ujima, collective work and responsibility, right? So if anyone has any comments, please share.
I've heard you do a different version of that with a very different moral. I love the way you've adapted it to bring it into Kwanzaa and to bring the 7 principles into the story. The other version's a little bit more like they're all kind of selfish and the one who gets it. I'm not going to give away the reason,
Right.
because I'm sure others haven't heard the story. But I love the way that you've adapted it and brought a totally different meaning to the story. Really, really nicely worked. Oh God, did I just pay Babasi a compliment?
A compliment, yes. And I'm gonna put you on mute before you can take it back.
No, Baden, you're allowed to. It's Kwanzaa. So after 7 days' time, you can revert to type. And won't you be saving it up?
Any other comment? Oh, and Pauline, I know I made some gestures about you eating, but now you and the little one are actually eating in front of us. Yes. I am so going to eat something after
You
this.
made us so hungry. You made us so hungry. We're eating the giant fish.
Yes. I relaxed my vegetarian standards last night and had some salmon. And mac and cheese. Yes. Yes. Now you've made me doubly hungry.
Sorry.
Yeah, Pauline used to take my granddaughter to get mac and cheese on festival fields, and because I wouldn't feed her, because I knew other people would. Because I adhere to that principle of the African proverb that it takes a whole village to raise a child. So why would I have to take responsibility for my own granddaughter?
So Pauline, how did you and the little one, how did you and the Mtoto Mazuri, the beautiful child, how did you guys like the story?
Loved it. I've heard it somewhere, but I don't remember where.
Oh, you heard it from me.
No, it wasn't the version that Baden's talking about. But I couldn't remember how it ended. I remember that everybody said, I helped the most, but I didn't remember it was about the moon. So yeah, love it.
Thank you. That was worth me getting hungry again. Despina, any comments from you? Or did she freeze? Simona, comments from you?
I wasn't expecting the ending, but as Baden said, it was nice because it was connected to Kwanzaa and the celebration. And I heard you telling a similar story, not with Anansi, but with everybody that says I was the one who helped the most. Something similar, but I don't remember it at the moment. But it was nice. Thank you.
Thank you. And are those lights above your head? Are they real or are they
Zoom? You can add them if you want.
All right, that's nice. Donald, I'm waiting to hear from you because I can see you. I couldn't look at you while I was telling the story because you were having such fun.
I was having such fun. I loved the story. I have also heard the story before, but not I didn't hear it as an Anansi story, and I love Anansi stories. But I think Anansi could pretty much fit into any story you could tell.
Yes, yes, yes. He's a great teacher. Thank you. Sir Keith.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
great,
you.
Great story, Baba. Didn't you tell something similar on Sunday night where the youngest child was the one that was
Cowtail switch.
wanted the father, and he was the one that got the switch. That's right. Yeah, it's a very similar story to the switch. That's it. Yeah.
Yep, it was a cowtail switch.
Yeah, very similar.
Yes.
But very good. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Did I miss anyone? David, did you hear the story? David from Texas.
Hey, David's probably not feeling that good, and he's just listening.
Okay, that's okay. And David also, it's around. So David just had dinner, which is not to be confused with lunch. Yes, it is. So he'll probably be ready for supper in a few hours. In the South, dinner is your second meal of the day. What most of us call lunch. And up north, which I'm really not, but up north, lunch is the second meal of the day, and then we have dinner.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If I missed anyone, I'm coming to you, John Rowe, because I really want to hear what you have to say. But did I miss anybody? Did Zohair want to say something? You know what? Mohammed, did you want to say something? Ali, did you want to say something? Mike, did you want to say something?
Thank you for the story. Thank you for the KWANZAA.
All right, thank you. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Baba. I'd like to hear what Zuhair says.
Hi, John.
Hey.
It was amazing, and I really liked what you said about Africans. We are Africans as well, but we're not black, and I really appreciate bringing us in the story as well.
All right, all right. And Mike, are you in a car?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I've been whizzing. I've been hearing you at great speed as I whiz down the motorway. So thanks very much. I thought it was wonderful, definitely educational and really enjoyable. And of course, we're all African.
Yes, all of us can trace ourselves back through DNA through the parent continent of Africa. And Mike, just be careful how you use the word whiz, because in the United States it means something else.
Thanks,
John picked up on that. All right, but keep on speeding down the road.
I have stopped actually to talk to you. You'll be pleased to hear.
Oh, I'm glad. Abdu, how did you enjoy the story?
Yeah, I loved it. Thank you for the special one, Dr. C. You remember that? It remembered me to like one of the speech that we had in university about this KWANZAA. I really like it.
All right.
Really special, and thanks for it. Yeah.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. John Rowe, your comments, sir.
Well, I hate to say this, but I just thought it was amazing. The thing about the celebratory story is that you have to raise the game, and you raise the game. I could listen to your stories all day long, but you just took yourself and just expanded yourself, and that was brilliant. And it had the real spirit of KWANZAA. And I've got to thank you for educating us about KWANZAA, because I spent a lot of time around African American community around, but in the 80s, but it hadn't grown as much as it has now. So I've got a whole new aspect. And so I mentioned earlier today to someone I was judging a part of that worldwide story competition from whatever it was, Ace Innovation, and there was an American judge on that, an African American judge on that, and she was about to do a whole week of KWANZAA stuff. So I actually I raised the subject. I was able to raise the subject because of you, Baba C. So I sounded actually like I was fairly knowledgeable. And I love being able to create illusions because that's what we storytellers do. So marvelous. No, thank you, Baba C. You've been fantastic. It's been a great evening.
I was, if I may just, I'll make it quick for me anyhow. I was especially, first of all, John Rowe, Asante Sana, thank you very much for allowing me to do this. And thank you very much for allowing me to do this on the first day of Kwanzaa. And I say thank you very much because I do this throughout the year. But today I was really extra excited because I knew I was going to be talking to a community largely outside of my own immediate community. And I mean that as a compliment. And I really wanted to present this in a way that people could understand that Kwanzaa, a lot of times when we talk about things that are African, people want to close it off and say that nobody else but Africans can celebrate it. And that's just not true. On St. Patrick's Day, you don't have to be Irish to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. It don't hurt, but you don't have to be. During the Gay Pride Days, you don't have to be gay to celebrate the parades. You can be an ally, you can be supportive. And my whole thing is that when something is good and positive, you may not be from that culture or that family, but it does not mean that you cannot celebrate it, enjoy it, and learn from it.
Baba C, you need to come over to England and go to the Notting Hill Carnival to see something that started within the black community and has just become Baden's shutting me up. He thinks he's
ignore Baden
already.
Ignore the man behind the curtain.
Yeah, no, it's just the whole of London coming together in and there's issues like there is with everything, but it is.
Yes.
It's been, it just shows what started with a Caribbean restaurant in the middle of All Saints Road, the Mangrove Restaurant. And they had to fight an enormous amount of opposition. And and there's been attempts to close it down and everything else, but it is just grown so much and is all encompassing. And it is an illustration of that. And Baden, I know you're trying to shut me up, but you've got to agree.
Why you all keep encouraging this guy? All I'm going to say is if Babasi comes to London, I will personally take him to the Notting Hill Carnival and be his guide.
Nice one.
And I will leave him there.
No, that's cruel. That's cruel. No,
and once again,
I've got lost on Notting Hill Carnival.
Before I forget, if any of you come to Washington, D.C., or as we call it, the DMV, the District of Columbia, Maryland, Virginia area, you have family, you have Rafiki, you have a friend here. So if you're coming, give me a couple of days warning, a notice, in Baden's case, warning. And I will be more than glad to show you parts of D.C. that are off the beaten path. I would love to show you what used to be called Black Broadway. I'd love to show you what used to be called Black Downtown. Show you some of what I think are more interesting sites and areas in DC that you won't see on an everyday sightseeing tour. I'd love to show you the Big Chair, and I'm not going to tell you what the Big Chair is, except to say it's big. So anyhow, that invitation is open even to Baden. If you come to Washington D.C. or nearby, let me know, and I'll be more than glad to show you around this city. I want to thank each and every one of you so much. This has been a very special presentation for me. For those of you who keep drinking during the presentation, my cup, I keep picking it up, but it's empty. Yes, see, but that's all right. I will have.
Let me fill it up for you.
Excuse me. On that note, where my friends that had me to dinner last night, to dinner, not for dinner. Hey, babe, I'm surprised there's anything left. My friend goes out of the way to find the most obscure and borderline obscene bottles of wine you can find. They have very interesting labels, none of which I can show with the little one on the screen. But the wines are delicious, And so anyhow, I'm going to get me some. I'm going to have an adult beverage with my supper/lunch.
Now, while we're on, while we're talking of little ones, can I just give a plug for next Tuesday here?
That was my cue for you.
Thank you. Now, today I was judging something they had, and this shows how storytelling is growing. There was 33,000 entrants to a storytelling competition from around the world. 400 judges, 120 countries, and I was judging, or I was one of a panel of judges for 3 to 4 year olds and up to 12. There was 3 sections up to 12-year-olds, and these 3 and 4 year olds were just putting us all to shame. I mean, they were amazing, So. I know there's several of us here with white beards, and several that would have had white beards could they grow them, and Baden keeps cutting his off. And...
Why are you dissing Pauline like that, man?
Anyway,
well, he's the junior, so sometimes we seniors have to remind him he's the junior.
Oh yeah. So no, it's just so safe, and so I mean, it's amazing how strong storytelling is at the moment. This cafe, but there's lots of stuff going on around the world, and when we can actually all link up, we can probably take it all over. We can take over the world with stories,
Yes.
And actually, we'll probably center it. We'll make Lincolnshire the center of the world, Keith. But I know you don't want too many people there, so you like the sparseness. So
I don't know if anyone noticed.
Too much of that was.
I don't know if anyone noticed that at the last minute I decided this is about Kwanzaa, so I'm wearing the black, the red, and the green, which are the colors of Kwanzaa.
Of course, we all noticed.
So, anyhow, again,
it's a fantastic Kwanzaa celebration.
Thank you.
Tuesday night, I never quite got the announcements in because I went off on a tangent. Something
as you do, but that's okay.
It's a disease, and so Tuesday night at 4:30 p.m. UK time, we have our young storytellers and young lady who's just taken over the screen on Pauline's, Molly. I
love her cat ears.
You're going to have to tell a story this Tuesday coming. Are you going to do that for me? I frightened her off. And then Sunday, we're not doing anything Friday because everyone's sort of going to be celebrating.
Adult beverages will be served.
Absolutely. But Sunday, there'll be the worldwide story round. Keith is a veteran of the worldwide story round, but the rest of you can. Simona, you've been on it a few times, and so that's 6 o'clock Sunday. Mike Rust hosts that. I better remind him that he's doing that, and into the new year, of course, we will just get stronger and stronger leading up to the festival. We are convinced that Morocco will open up. And so we will be seeing each other at the festival and just tell everyone about it. And there'll be enough Zoom stuff going on at the festival anyway, so even people who can't make it can participate, Simona. You might be able to make it, if you can persuade your school that it's really call it career development. and then you can come to us at the festival. Maybe they'll pay for you as well.
So before John officially closes us out, whatever holiday you're observing of this time of year, please observe, share, and reflect upon it. But one of the most important things I want to say is that to each and every one of you and yours, may 2022 bring you all that you need, if not all that you want. May you want all that you need and need all that you want. Asante Sana.
Baba C, once again, thank you for tonight. You have been magnificent as always.
Thank
A
you.
final round of applause for Baba C.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Brilliant, brother.
Hurts me to say it, but brilliant.
Yeah, we no, give him his due. Give him his due.
Molly says thank you as well.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Keita, you're welcome, Molly. Thank you very much. I love your cat ears. So you have cat ears, but bad in Prince is just being catty. But that's okay. And just a reminder to everybody, Baden and I love each other like brothers. And that's why we're able to banter the way we do. We have the utmost respect for each other. Now, I said it, put my check in the mail. Okay.
Good night.
All right. Good night.
Thank you, Ali, for the magic carpet once more.
John.
Thank you.
Thank
David, get
everyone.
well.
Thank you, Baba.
Stay safe, everybody. Stay
Thank you,
well.
Ali.
Thank
Stay
you, Mike.
blessed.
Thank you, and Merry
Mike,
Christmas, John.
Thank you, Mike, for giving us the magic carpet and giving us Ali to drive it.
Merry Christmas to everyone.
You know
right.
what, Baba? Next
Yes.
Kwanzaa, we also dance.
Have you seen me dance? The last time I danced,
Not
my
yet.
blind neighbor told me to sit down.
Hey. Well,
And I have a
not-
story about that. Remind me to tell you on our next gathering. Thank you, everyone. Asante Sana, thank you very much. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Kiria Kizaliwa Faraha Kwanzaa. And I just butchered it, but I'm telling everyone, have a happy Kwanzaa and enjoy.
Happy
You're
Kwanzaa,
mute,
Baba.
John.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, everyone,
Happy New Year.
and
Go
happy
long
Kwanzaa,
and prosper.
happy Kwanzaa for the
Live
week.
long and prosper.
Okay. Well, we'll
Bye,
see you
everybody.
Tuesday
Happy New
Tuesday
Year.
evening or Sunday evening. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
John.
Thank you
Until the
very
next
Happy
much.
New Year.
To be
Bye.
We
continued.
met Ali and Muhammad.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, John. Have a good night.
Everyone go
Thank
to
you,
bed.
everyone.
All right. Got to
Thank
go
you so
feed
much.
that itis.
Thank you, Rafiki.
Sakitu Rafiki, Asante Sana, thank you very much. And
Asante
John,
sana.
thank you. John, really a big shout out. I'm over the moon that I got this opportunity to do that. And despite the shaky beginnings, I think it all worked out well.
Yep.
You're mute. You're mute, John.